Mr. Zuckerberg, did Meta purposely design the platform to harm children?
He may be the CEO of a trillion-dollar tech giant.
Do you have a message to the parents?
But today Mark Zuckerberg was facing not just questions outside court, but also a lengthy cross-examination inside as well. His social media platforms are being sued by an anonymous 20-year-old Californian woman who claims they're designed to be addictive and caused her anxiety and body image issues. Her case is seen as a test for dozens of other claims. Parents of young people who died by suicide because of the toxic content they'd seen online are watching this case carefully. Laurie Schott's daughter Anna Lee went from happy farmer's daughter to tortured teen. Her mother tried in vain to restrict her phone access.
It got to the point where I would have to lock her cell phone and her computers and things in our car so she didn't have access to social media. Let's say what it is. It's addiction. I don't think any other parent out there says it's problematic use. It's addiction.
She's been supported by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex Archewell Foundation. She says Prince Harry has helped her find the strength to go public.
We thanked him for using his platform for us. And the other night when he came in, he's like, this isn't me, this is all of you having the courage to go out and tell your story time and time again. But if he hadn't have propped this mama up, I couldn't be here today. I would still be in this darkest hole.
Would you like to apologize for what you've done to these good people?
2 years ago, Mark Zuckerberg was forced to publicly acknowledge the suffering of bereaved families when he appeared before a congressional committee.
No one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
But for Laurie, it isn't enough.
My opinion is you pump the brakes right now, Meta, and you fix it. You had every opportunity, and I am so happy you are sitting in that chair today, in that courtroom, because it's fingers pointing at you.
The court was read a 2019 email from Nick Clegg, former Lib Dem leader and global affairs executive for Meta, raising concerns, saying the fact we have age limits which are unenforced makes it difficult to claim we're doing all we can. In a statement today, Meta said it is confident the evidence will show our long-standing commitment to supporting young people. Meta claims the plaintiff was struggling before ever using its platforms, saying the evidence will show she faced many significant, difficult challenges well before she ever used social media. In court today, Mark Zuckerberg pushed back against the suggestion it designed its platforms to be addictive, saying Meta used to give time as goals, but that's not how we run the company now. This is a case which is expected to last for weeks and could have consequences far beyond this Los Angeles courtroom.
And Dan joins us from Washington. Dan, you really posed the question at the end there. I can only imagine that losing this case would be an absolute catastrophe for social media companies, would it not?
Yeah, I think there's a sense that it would sort of open the floodgates, because there are more than 1,600 other plaintiffs who've lodged similar cases against not just Meta, but companies like TikTok, YouTube and Snapchat. I think what's significant about this case, Tom, is this is not about holding Meta to account for the content that's on its platform. Because in previous cases, companies like Meta and other social media companies have used a sort of legal shield called Section 230 of a 1996 law, which essentially says that they're not liable for what is on their platform under freedom of expression. What this case is about is sort of sidestepping that, if you like, and saying, this is about addiction. This is about holding these companies to account because of the addictive nature of their platforms, and that has been designed in to get people, young people particularly, coming back time after time, even when the content is harmful to them. And what's also interesting with this case, Tom, is it's going to be decided by a jury. So if this goes through, if it's successful, a big if, Meta will mount a very vigorous defence. It could open a floodgate of many more cases with huge financial implications.
I lost my daughter Anna Lee at the age of 18 to suicide. She took her life because of the design platforms that push content of suicide and anxiety and depression at her. We let our daughter have her phone when she was 13, and the first thing we allowed her to download was Facebook. She couldn't download any platforms without our permission. So I thought, and me being on Facebook, that it was the same thing. Stay in contact with your cousins, stay in connection with your friends. But as it migrated on, she was a freshman, went into her sophomore year, she kind of seemed to take a different path, but I marked it up in the area of mental health to just being a young girl growing up. And my whole worry was that she was doing things that were harmful to other kids, like maybe teenage bullying and things like that. I had no idea the content that was being pushed at her and the dangers of it all opening up the world to my little girl. In her journals, she wrote, "How could somebody love somebody as ugly and broken as me? I have no future." I look at other girls' profiles. So it's talked her into a world that she never should have been, that she wasn't enough. This is a global problem, and the root cause is Meta and these platforms that have zero oversight to change. And I'm going to fight like hell with all these other parents until we get change, not only here, because I want Congress to see these unsealed documents. I want them to tell me our kids don't have lobbyists. We don't have lobbyists to fight on Capitol Hill, but they've got us, and we've got proof. So we're coming, we're storming. I was invited to join the Parents Network, which was part of Archwell, which is their foundation, and basically was approached to say, hey, this might be an organization that you can find comfort in, that you can find connection in. And I joined and immediately bonded with a huge group of parents that sadly lost their children in similar ways, all related to social media. And that gave me, I say my advocacy work started then, when I finally found out I wasn't alone and that we weren't alone and that we knew we could tell our stories and maybe have an impact for change. He knows us. He knew my husband. My husband usually wears a cowboy hat, and he walked in and he's like, hey, where's your cowboy hat? I mean, he knows us. And when Archwell first did the Lost Screen Memorial, it was surreal because that night it was just us and our kids and them. No cameras, and they knew all of our kids' stories. So there's 50 images of, basically tombstone cell phones with our child's picture on them, and they knew all of our kids' story, and no media, it was just us as parents. And that was a night like no other, and we thanked him for using his platform for us. And the other night when he came in, he's like, this isn't me, this is all of you having the courage to go out and tell your story time and time again. But if he hadn't propped this mama up, I couldn't be here today. I would still be in this darkest hole.